This is a city where the mountains meet the sea and the snow meets the beach. This is Antalya. It's October 17 today. Antalya sees around 300 sunny days per year, in contrast to what is in Europe. Some people, they go to skiing, as you can see the mountains, and some people will go to beach. This is Konyaaltı beach facing me, and I am shooting from Lara area. Hi guys, this is beautiful country Turkiye is very welcoming to everyone, to all the tourists that come here. Many people are thinking of coming and retiring in Turkey, and many people are thinking to move and live in Turkey even if they are still young, because it is not expensive. This was the case before 2024. Nowadays, things have changed and there are major changes with regarding to the cost of living in Turkey and the residence permit. If you want to know more about Turkey and moving to Turkey, stay with me in this video to know about the cost of living, the supermarkets, transportation, the rent, buying a house, etc. Before 2024, many people used to come to here to Turkey because it's not expensive, and many people come and live in Antalya as expats because it's a very enjoyable city and there are a lot of things to do and enjoy the nice weather of Antalya. Yes, as you heard me, the nice weather, except for July and August because it's very hot, while winter is very nice and it's very mild and it's enjoyable. Inflation in Turkey is still increasing, and now the inflation in Turkey is one of the highest in the world, 65%. And the minimum wages raised from 11,000 Turkish lira to 17,000 Turkish lira in one shot. Imagine this big increase in the salaries, how much it's going to make the country expensive. 17,000 Turkish lira nowadays is equivalent to around 550 US dollars. The biggest expense that you have to pay when you come to Turkey is the rent, the house rent. Renters in Turkey increased drastically since 2020-22. Nowadays we are hearing that some landlords are multiplying the rent by 3 or 4 times. If you want to rent a house in Lara area or in Konyaaltı, where expats usually live, you have to expect to pay at least 15,000 Turkish lira for 1+1. This is the cheapest and you barely find it. And the prices will go more up. And if you want to get a bigger house, something that's facing the beach or close, you will expect to pay 20,000 Turkish lira at least, which is equivalent to 650 US dollars. And it goes upward to 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to 1,500, 2,000 US dollars if you want to live in something close to the beach. Those rents that I'm talking about was not much expensive before. Before you used to rent a house for 500 or 400 US dollars in a very nice and decent area. Nowadays this changed. For the locals, it's very hard to rent a house in a decent area or something close to their jobs because the rents are very expensive. Bear in mind, if you want to live in Turkey, the contracts for the houses are yearly and it's binding. So if you want to make a contract, it's for 1 year at least, and you cannot leave before 1 year unless you have an agreement with the landlord. But by law, you are forced to cover all the year if you want to leave before. Since the US dollar exchange rate is increasing in Turkey, and when US dollar is equivalent to 30.8 Turkish lira, everything is increasing in prices, especially the fuel. And this is the concern of everybody because it increases the prices of the transportation. The transportation fees, if you are using the buses inside the city, it is 15 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to 0.5 US dollars per ride. And if you are using your credit card, it's 18 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to 0.6 US dollars. And if you want to rent a car and roam Turkey, the petrol or the diesel cost is very high. Nowadays, 1 liter of diesel is 45.80 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to 1.50 US dollars per liter. So if you rent a car in Turkey now, since Turkey is very big and you want to move from one city to another, it will cost you a lot. What I suggest is that you travel by intercity buses or by plane, and then rent a car at the city you are in and you can roam it. You will save a lot of money this way. Renting a car in Turkey, you will expect to pay between 800 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to 25 US dollars, and it goes up to 1,000, 1,500 Turkish lira, and definitely there are a lot more prices for bigger cars, so it depends on what you want. If you are thinking of buying a car in Turkey, it is very expensive. The cars in Turkey, you have to multiply their prices by 2 to 3 times from any European country. The thing in Turkey is that the cars gains value instead of depreciating. So if you buy a car, don't worry, it's fine. You will sell it in the same price, at least you bought it, or maybe higher, but you have to get a big chunk to buy a minimum car. You need like around 15 to 20,000 US dollar to buy a small economical car. We used to hear that the medical sector in Turkey is nice and good and it's cheap. But the thing is that it's not cheap anymore, especially where the expats live or the areas that are touristy, where most of the tourists come to. Let me give you an example. Beside my house, there is a private hospital. I asked last month to go for a checkup, and the doctor said directly in my face that if you are a foreigner, your price will be 150 euros, even if you have the ikamat or the residence permit. Imagine if you are going to a doctor for a checkup, the cost will be 150 euros per visit. This is too much, and this is very expensive. But there are a lot of hospitals that are state hospitals, or even the hospitals that are a little bit far from the touristic areas. You will not find those prices, those bombarded prices. You will find normal, regular prices, very close to the prices that the Turkish people are paying. One of the things that you want to buy if you come to Antalya, Turkey, or to any other city to live in, is to buy a mobile phone. A mobile SIM card in Turkey will cost you around 1,000, 1,200 Turkish lira with 20 gigabytes for 28 days and 750 minutes, or 200 international minutes, and 1,000 SMS. And those SMS I never used in my life. Since I came here in 2019, I was paying like around 35 Turkish lira for my package. Now I am paying 210 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to $6 plus. It's still not expensive relatively. And if you want to get internet to your house, there are a lot of packages that you can get from the 3 major companies in Turkey: Turkcell, Vodafone, or Türk Telekom. Within all the companies, you will find almost the same package. You can get the super online, the fiber lines speed if you want. I used it before, but I didn't like it because I don't know, it was cutting. Then I switched back to the ADSL. I'm getting a package for around 400 Turkish lira per month. Unlimited, the speed is fine with me. And I believe that next year it's going to be around 700, 800 Turkish lira. It will double. And you should do a yearly contract. You cannot go month by month. If you don't pay for 1 month or you want to stop, you have to cover all the year. If you bring a foreign cell phone with you, it will only work for 3 months. Then it will be stopped by the network providers. Then you have to go and pay some customs fees for it, and it's a big amount. Last year it was like around 200 US dollars, where you can buy a phone for this price. So either sell your phone there and buy a new phone here, but phones here are expensive and all electronics are expensive. Maybe you can get some small phone here just to facilitate your need, and you keep your phone and you connect it through wireless all the time. Outings. If you want to go to a restaurant, the prices for 2 people, if you are ordering 2 plates with 2 drinks, and I'm talking now about chicken, not beef, you will expect to pay between 800 and 1,000 Turkish lira in a normal mid-range restaurant. Price could go up, and prices also could go down in some street food, definitely. But if you are opting to order steak or beef dishes, and I'm not talking about kofta, something that's like steak, it will cost you around 1,500 to 2,000 Turkish lira for 2 people. And you will expect to pay for 1 beer in restaurants between 100 and 200 Turkish lira. 100 Turkish lira is equivalent to $3 US, and 200 Turkish lira is equivalent to $6 US. So those are the prices that you should expect to pay when you come to Turkey. Buying a local beer nowadays from a supermarket or from a liquor shop, it will cost you around 60 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to $2 US. As I said in the beginning of the video, let me take you a tour inside the supermarket. There are 3 levels of supermarkets in Turkey. The cheap supermarkets are A101, which is called A101 in Turkish, BİM and Çok. And then it comes, there's Carrefour and Migros and Tahtakali, the mid-range. And then you have Makro, which is the high-end supermarket where you can find inside it a lot of exported items that you cannot find in any other supermarkets. Now let's go and have a walk inside A101 or A101. See you inside. Here is the bread, most used bread in Turkey, a loaf for 200 grams. It's 9 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to 0.3 US dollars. This is zucchini. It's 49.75 Turkish lira, equivalent to 1.5 US dollars. Lemon. It was 1875, now 1675, which is half a dollar almost, or 0.6. Tomatoes, 1 US dollar per kilo. 48 sacks, it's equivalent to 2.5 US dollars. 1 small bottle of water, 0.5 liters, is 2.50 Turkish lira, which is less than 0.1 US dollars. This is milk, half fat or less fat, is 26 Turkish lira per 1 liter. It's less than 1 US dollars. And this is the full fat, it's also less than 1 US dollars. This is eggs, it's discounted. It was 109 Turkish lira, now 87.50 for 30 pieces of eggs, large size, which is equivalent to 2.5 US dollars. 1 liter of natural olive oil, virgin olive oil, is 348 Turkish lira, which is equivalent to 11.5 US dollars. Local made pasta, half kilogram is 10.50, which is 0.3 US dollars. 16 rolls of toilet paper is for 90 Turkish lira, $3, 96.50 Turkish lira for 400 milliliters, around 3.3 US dollars. Those are detergents. This is local made. It's almost $1. And 1 pack of Doritos, 113 grams chips. It's $1 almost. Cola. This is 1.25 liters. It's $1.3. Chicken breast. This brand is 169 Turkish lira for 1 kilograms. There are different prices. It varies from this price, maybe a little bit less, from 150 to 200, 210. It depends on the brand. Sausages. It's 49.75 Turkish lira for 340 grams, which is equivalent to 1.7 US dollars. Cheese, 700 gram, is 208.50, and here it's less. Another brand, 174.50 Turkish lira. From Kellogg's, 700 grams equal 89.90, which is equivalent to $3. Local rice, local brand. It's 24 Turkish lira for 1 kilogram, which is less than a dollar. It's almost 0.7 US dollars. This is the cheapest cooking oil, 5 liters, 185 Turkish lira, which is around $6. This is discounted coffee, 20 pieces. It was 99, now it's 50.9, which is equal to 2 US instead of 3 US dollars. Now you are wondering, how do you want to apply for a residence permit? The rules have changed a lot. In Turkey, they closed 1,169 neighborhoods that you cannot acquire a residence permit if you are living in those areas. Even if you buy a house in those areas, you cannot acquire a residence permit. So before you rent, make sure that you are eligible to acquire a residence permit. Nowadays, I'm hearing that they are giving the residence permit for 6 months or for 1 year, and you cannot apply it for 2 years anymore. So bear in mind not to pay money for 2 years and then this money will be lost and they will not return it if they don't approve for you. The cost of the residence permit for 1 year, it will be around 105 US dollars if you are applying, and I believe this depends on the country you are coming from. It might be a little bit more or a little bit less. And to get your residence permit, you should make private insurance. And if you want to apply for the residence permit, it's obligatory to have a Turkish insurance. It's called Yabancı Sigorta. Let us say your visa allows you to stay in the country for 3 months. Then before the end of the 3 months, you can apply for the extension for your visa, which is called the residence permit for touristic purpose. And they will approve for you within 3 months, or as they say, within 90 days. Also, if you came to Istanbul and you liked it and you want to get a residence permit to live in Istanbul, or you have a retirement plan to live in Istanbul, that's not feasible anymore, because they will not give you a residence permit to live in Istanbul. It is closed for any residence permit because there are 1,200,000 expats living in Istanbul approximately. That's why they stopped giving residence permits in Istanbul. The price of the houses in Turkey increased a lot. And imagine, if you want to get a residence permit through a title deed, you have to buy a house for 200,000 US dollars nowadays, where in 2019 it was any amount of a house you own. Then they increased it to 50,000 US dollars, then 75,000 US dollars, and in 2024, 200,000 US dollars one shot. That's too much. Even if you have a house with the 200,000 US dollars and you apply for a residence permit with a title deed, they are giving you the residence permit or the ikamet for only 1 year, and you cannot apply it for 2 years. Even if you apply it, they are saying they are rejecting it. As we have been living in Turkey since 2019, I can tell you that 2024 is really different from the previous years. Since everything got expensive, even if you get your salary in US dollars, euros, or GBP, things are expensive nowadays, and your salary or your income will not have the same purchasing power as it was in the preceding years. To stay up to date about Turkiye and Antalya in particular, do not forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for new videos from us. And hope you enjoyed our video. See you in the next video. Bye bye.